Holophane has been reliably engineering, developing, and manufacturing lowering devices for exceptional mounting heights for more than 40 years. As the pioneer of high-mast lighting, Holophane has lit more large exterior spaces with high-mast luminaires and lowering devices than any other company in the world. Typical applications include highways, ports for land and sea, rail yards, industrial plant exteriors, and large parking lots. In fact, it is safe to say that Holophane is synonymous with the concept of high-mast lighting and has the most extensive product line of its kind in the world. What is the value of exceptional heights, or more specifically, mounting heights greater than 40 feet? The value is economical and performance-based. Let's consider two major benefits. The first is improved visibility, or more specifically, uniform vertical illumination and retinal stability. The second benefit would be greater lighting coverage, which would allow for a reduction in the light pole locations, ultimately leading to reduced operating costs and maintenance savings, and reduced initial material and installation costs for the application. All that being said, why would somebody choose a lowering device for their application? Lowering devices are reliable, economical, and a practical way to access lighting fixtures and accessories at exceptional mounting heights.
Cost-effective. No outside services required. No bucket trucks needed. No need to interrupt traffic or other operations. Reliable. Large installed base of systems with a proven track record. Over 40 years experience in lowering device manufacturing. Easy to operate. Minimal training required. Holophane high-mast lowering devices allow you to take full control of your operating costs by creating independence in servicing. Holophane high-mast lowering devices provide a means for mounting and servicing up to 12 luminaires at mounting heights up to 150 feet. The systems come in a variety of configurations with a wide array of options. Top latching systems provide a high level of safety for personnel, equipment, and public areas. Top latching also provides long life to the system by removing all weight from the raising and lowering components. Additional choices are available to assure the correct system is specified for the application. The choices include top or bottom latching, self-centering luminaire ring or non-centering with bumper, winch mounted in the pole base or portable winch, portable drive motor or motor mounted in pole base, wide variety of luminaire styles. Holophane provides the best line of high-mast luminaires in the industry. The new HMAO series provides the ultimate level of performance in a variety of distributions and cutoff classifications. Call your Holophane representative or visit www.holophane.com to learn more about Holophane lowering devices, luminaires, and other accessories. The following section of this video will demonstrate the installation of a typical high-mast lowering device and luminaires. Installation components, steps, and procedures will vary depending on the specific product configurations and options you choose. So please always refer to your Holophane instruction manual when actually installing a system.
Refer to the pole manufacturer's instructions for proper pole preparation and pole assembly. The pole sections must be completely seated before installation of the lowering device. During or after assembly of the pole, install a jet line or a light rope through the pole to aid in pulling the cables and power cord down the pole. Place the lowering device crate near the top of the pole and unpack the components to ensure everything was received. Orient the pole so that the handhole is facing up, and support the pole without sag with the top end at least 3 feet above the ground. The strain relief mounting hole is used for positioning of the ring on the pole for alignment procedures during the installation. The opening on the head frame for the power cord at the end of the rollers is associated to the strain relief position. Slide the LD ring over the top of the pole and about 3 feet down. The iris-type guide arms are oriented toward the bottom of the pole. Position the strain relief mounting hole upwards and in the center on the handhold position for alignment. Position the clevis assembly with the attached hoisting cables in the tenon opening with the 3 cables associated to the adjacent pins on the ring. Uncoil the power cord halfway down along the pole and back to the top. Uncoil the cables, hand over hand, without twisting, laying them alongside the pole. Be sure to uncoil in a manner that will not leave the cord twisted. Position the head frame 2 feet in front of the top of the pole and securely prop it on its edge with power cable slot oriented up. The head frame must be fully supported from falling over. Thread one of the hoisting cables up through one of the small round holes in the cable divider plate inside the head frame assembly, and then over the top of the 2 sheaves in the sheave bracket, and finally down through the latch barrel. Do not allow the cable to go outside the cable keepers on the outside edge of the sheave. Repeat the procedure for the other 2 cables. Be sure the cables are not crossed or wrapped around each other. Insert the cables through their corresponding pins and pull them down the side of the pole. Thread the power cord through the power cord slot near the outside edge of the head frame plate. Run it over the power cord rollers and through the slot of the cable divider plate adjacent to the cord roller, through the center hole, and then out the bottom in the middle of the 3 hoisting cables. Feed the power cord through the large center hole in the clevis approximately 2 feet, making certain it is centered in the 3 hoisting cables. The power cord and cables must not be crossed or wrapped around each other. Securely fasten the compression clamp on the power cord just under the clevis plate. Attach the light rope, which was strung through the pole, to the U-shaped bail of the clevis. Use the rope to pull the clevis down the pole while picking up the head frame assembly and sliding the slip fitter over the tenon on top of the pole. Continue to pull the cables down the pole until the clevis reaches the handhole opening. Tighten the set screws after orienting the head frame with the power cord on the top aligned with the pole handhole. Assure that the head frame assembly is seated level by adjusting the set screws. Install 1 large slotted washer on the top end of each latch pin. Electrical tape may be helpful in holding the washers in place. Screw the lock nut on the adjustment tube all the way down and install the tubes in their pin location with the hoisting cable through the center. Install the winch assembly to its mounting plate inside the base of the pole. Secure the assembly at each corner with the 4 hex head machine bolts and nuts. Depending on pole size, the breaker cover may have to be removed to accomplish the winch plate mounting. Remove the tape securing the winch cable to the winch drum and uncoil it 2 turns. Rotate the winch drum using a 5/8 socket wrench to adjust the position of the cable end swivel fitting. The pin in the swivel must be 29 inches plus or minus 1 inch above the center line of the winch drum. Remove the cotter pin and insert the swivel pin in the direction so that the head of the pin is on the side of the clevis bail with the power cord. Insert the cotter pin into the hole in the swivel pin and bend both ends to secure it. Pull the hoisting cables just slightly tight and straight out of the pipe below the latch pin. Inspect the end of the hoisting cable and remove any tape or loose wire strands. The end should be clean cut, round, and have no frayed strands. Install the cable terminal fittings on the cables and do not drop the cable terminal fittings into mud, dirt, sand, etc. Grasp the cable and the fitting and firmly insert the end of the cable into the aluminum guide cup in the small end of the strand vise fitting. Lift the mounting ring and insert the latch pins, complete with washers, into the latch barrels. With someone holding the ring against the head frame, pull the hoisting cables as tight as possible by hand and slide the terminal fitting against the fitting holder. Repeat for the other two hoisting cables. Attach both angle brackets to the ring. The double washers must be installed between the brackets and the ring. Tighten each lock nut until it is snug, and then loosen it about 1/2 turn to allow the bracket to pivot. Make a small loop in each cable below the fitting, 2 turns, and secure the loop with a U-bolt cable clamp. Position the U-bolt clamp against the terminal fitting and securely tighten the nuts on the U-bolt clamp. Cut off the excess cable, leaving about 6 inches below the clamps, and apply tape to the ends of the cables. Make sure all the hoisting cables and power cord are seated in their respective pulley grooves. Refer to your installation manual for the fixture mounting configuration on the ring. Install the junction box arm on the ring at the location to the right or left of the power cord slot with the bolts provided and the heads to the inside of the ring. Loosen the strain relief grip so proper length can be obtained when the junction box is mounted. Install the junction box onto the left side of the junction box arm using the 4 1/4 20 lock nuts. Install the power cord strain plate attached to the power cord to the underside of the top flange of the ring using the 3/8 bolt and lock nut supplied. Remove the slack in the power cord and adjust the cord grip up so there won't be a lot of slack when the device is lowered for the first time. Install the remaining fixture arms and feed the appropriate cords per the instruction manual diagram. If a lightning rod is used, the head frame cover has an indentation in it for the location where the rod goes through it. A 7/8 inch hole needs to be drilled and deburred at the position of this indentation. A rubber grommet is supplied to insert into the new opening. The rod is then screwed into its mounting bracket. Put some lubricant on the grommet and rod for a smooth installation. Install the head frame cover onto the head frame and secure it with the screws and lock nuts provided. To ensure the cable terminal fittings are properly set, use a 5/8 socket and tighten the winch cable to where it is good and taut. Tie a rope to the LD ring beside the power cord strain plate. The rope length must be at least the length of the pole. This will be used to apply downward force on the ring in the event that the ring requires additional force to help it come down the pole. Double-check that the lock nuts on the iris arm rods are set. Prepare the anchor bolts for pole erection. Use a level going from side to side and across to level the bottom nuts and ensure that the pole is plumb. Be sure to follow the manufacturer's instructions on rigging the pole for erection. The crane boom should always be below the head frame to keep from possibly damaging the device. Note: the short pole used in this video is for demonstrational purposes and does not reflect a standard installation procedure. When the pole is completely on its foundation, install the top nuts and tighten them securely. The rigging can be removed at this point. The pigtail and the supply line can be terminated at the breaker for operation of the device. The excess cord can be removed and the cover plate installed on the breaker, while also installing the plug on the power cord. The power unit can be installed to lower the device for installation of the fixtures. The unit is slid into the receiver tube while aligning the socket to the winch drive. When the hole aligns, insert the hitch pin and fasten the latch. Connect the pigtail to the step-down transformer and the plug to the motor for operation. Using the drum switch to operate the power unit, position the lever in the reverse position to lower the ring. The tag line can be used to assist in the lowering of the ring if necessary. Once the ring has been lowered, the split washers can be removed. Latch synchronization blocks should now be installed on the hoisting cables 39 to 41 inches above the top of the pins. The fixtures can now be installed. When all the equipment is installed on the ring can be raised to where the synchronization blocks touch the latch barrels, and then take it up a few more inches to ensure all 3 blocks have touched. The device can then be lowered to make the needed adjustments. Using a tape measure, hook the tape on the top of the block and take a measurement to a reference point on the ring. With the shortest measurement of the 3 hoisting cables being used as a reference, raise the other 2 blocks to that measurement by unscrewing the adjusting tubes until the required length is met. The blocks can then be removed and the lock nuts tightened. With the device in the lowered position, the lights can now be tested by disconnecting power, plugging the pigtail into the receptacle on the junction box, and re-energizing the device. If all the lights are functional, the device is now ready for testing of the latch and unlatching sequences. Move the drum switch lever in the forward direction to raise the device to its farthest upward position while watching the flags and listening for the clutch to release. With the 3 flags rotating 45 degrees at the same time, the device is ready to latch. While jogging the device down, watch the flags to ensure that they rotated another 45 degrees, putting them at 90 degrees to the ring, which is the latched position. The winch can be cycled a little more to put slack in the cables. This completes a latch sequence. To unlatch the device, raise it to its highest position, as in the latching procedure, and jog it back down to where they rotate another 45 degrees, putting the flags parallel to the ring. The device is unlatched and can be lowered. Upon the completion of the latch and unlatching sequences, relatch the device. The cord grip adjustment can be performed to minimize slack in the cord when the device is in its lowered position. The power unit can now be removed and stored for future use. The power cord can be plugged into the pigtail, the power restored, and the handhole cover installed. Before closing and latching the door, place the instruction manual in the base of the pole in its protective envelope. The device is ready for normal operation.